How's it going, guys? Chris Hart here, Sold Out Servant. Today we'll be discussing the pros and cons to operating in a Zoom world in business, guys. With the recent outbreak of COVID-19, we're all forced to work from home. We're not in the office. We're working through Zoom. We discovered a new way to do business, but here's a catch. There are pros and cons to it. Today we'll discuss those pros and cons.
Sold out servants, and you know we've been working. We serving, we earning. The watches is hurting. Serve to earn, baby. What you know about leadership? Start small, build up. Takes a team to win a championship. Big heart, but it started with Chris. Seen a lot when it comes to this biz. Don't serve, don't earn. They gotta shift keys to be a capitalist. Sold out servants.
So what are the pros to using Zoom, guys? Okay, so there's so many pros to this concept, right? One is saving time. Pre-COVID-19, guys, I work in financial services, right? I have appointments across town. I'm driving here, I'm driving there. I can probably squeeze in 3, maybe 4 max appointments in a day. With the Zoom where I literally can wake up, guys, I'm on my laptop, right? I can run back-to-back appointments in Hawaii and Oklahoma and Texas. Why? Because I'm in a Zoom world where I can meet anyone at any given time, therefore saving time and making me more productive. The second pro is convenience. Zoom is so freaking convenient, guys. I've seen people who work in my agency roll out of bed, fire up Zoom. They're in a Zoom call within seconds, right? How convenient can that be? Imagine waking up on a Saturday morning and having to get to the office and you're brushing your teeth and you're washing your face and you got to eat your cereal, all that great stuff. You can literally roll out of bed, guys, and be, boom, right in your session with a client, right in a group classroom training. And it allows convenience for us in a day and age where COVID made things very tough for us. Zoom increased our reach. In one setting, I can send out a Zoom code to anyone in the country, right? I can do a group PowerPoint presentation with one simple touch of a button. You can have someone in West Africa. You can have someone in South America in one of your Zoom presentations where you're presenting a message or a thought, right, guys? I do presentations every week across the country, and it's so simple and so easy because they can log onto a laptop. They can see my group PowerPoint presentation. It can be in multiple homes at one time. And not only is that convenient, but it increases the reach for your business. So if you're saying, man, I want to expand, I want to grow, I want to have a national business, Zoom made that very possible for many industries. Health. The Zoom world is COVID safe, right? You can't transmit a virus to a laptop or a monitor or an iPad. So when COVID-19 hit our country in 2020, Zoom allowed us a place to go to work and not worry about transmitting this virus. And so the obvious reason is that it creates a safe zone, a health zone for people to work, be productive, and not worry about transmitting viruses or diseases. So now we discuss the pros of using Zoom, right? What are some of the cons? Non-verbal cues. There's certain things you just don't get through Zoom, guys. When you're communicating with a client, you're trying to convey a message to somebody, and the way their knee twitches, the way their eyes look a certain way, you don't see everything through Zoom. In some cases, guys, you have people on Zoom who have their camera off. That drives me crazy. Why are we on Zoom if your camera's off? I can call you and hear you, right? And so the non-verbal cues are missed when you're not in person. Stop using Zoom. You can't capture dynamics of office life, man. You're at home, you're doing a Zoom call in your house shoes, right? You finish an appointment, you finish a customer service conversation, you go upstairs, your kid's grabbing your leg, you're fighting with your wife or your husband. Like, it's just not the same, guys. I'm back in the office here in Maryland here. And I close a deal, I take care of a client, I take care of a customer service issue, I walk outside my office, I have energy of the guys here, we're high-fiving, man. I'm in the break room eating lunch, having conversations about certain things that are happening. Guys, the relationships being built here locally in the office can't happen on Zoom. We're so isolated there, man. And it may have worked for a period of time, but to build a real business, to build long-lasting relationships, it requires being in person and being kneecap to kneecap with someone else. It's hard to have tough conversations through Zoom, guys. You ever try firing someone in person? It sucks, right? You're like, okay, how am I going to say it? It's not you, it's us. You know, you're just not a good fit. You want to exude empathy. You want to show that you care. Through Zoom, it's just tough, man. I mean, you're trying to have verbal cues there. You're trying to show empathy for someone, but they're not feeling it. It's a computer screen. It's a laptop. It's an iPad. It's not the same. And so we found that through Zoom, one of the biggest cons is that when you want to have a tough conversation, if you're building a company, an organization, Zoom just doesn't quite cut it for that. So you got to meet in person, man. It's got to be going to a coffee shop. It's got to be the old-fashioned way of communicating, kneecap to kneecap with someone else. Zoom requires more time to build trust. You're working in sales, right? Maybe you're in real estate. You're working in pharmaceutical sales. You're working as an insurance agent like myself, right? And you're trying to build trust with a client. Normally, I go to a client's house, right? We're sitting down at a kitchen table and building rapport. Maybe they bring out some dinner. We grab a bite to eat together. We're breaking bread. We're building a relationship here. Through Zoom, the guy's thinking, who are you? Like, who's this guy? He can't get a feel for me. Like, we're not even standing up, we're sitting down in a chair, and he's gonna feel, who is this guy? We found that in our agency, we would actually go from prospect to client in 2 appointments. It's taking us more like 3 appointments now. Right? It's taking more time to build trust through technology. And so if you're saying, man, Chris, I want to get back into the in-person game, it's going to actually speed up the time in which you engage from prospect to a client. Zoom fatigue. You would think that, okay, cool, we're on Zoom, we're at the house, we're sitting down, we're wearing our slippers, we're wearing a suit and tie up top with basketball shorts below, right? That's the Zoom world. It's going to be easy, guys. It's actually a true thing here. Think about it. When you're on Zoom, it requires more physical exertion to communicate. You're trying your best to overcompensate for verbal cues that are lost. Your words are being enunciated in a certain way. You're saying, man, I gotta make sure that I bring energy to this computer screen. And what happens is this. You're able to now run more appointments. I mentioned it earlier. Pre-COVID-19, I'm meeting a client at a coffee shop, hopping in my car, I'm going to my next appointment, going to my office, going to a client's home. I can run max 4 or 5 appointments a day. In Zoom, I've ran guys 13 appointments back to back to back to back to back on one given day. That's a possible thing to do, right? Here's a problem with that though, guys. It may seem simple, but it actually requires more exertion for you. So if you're saying, man, Chris, I can hear you from this. I've done it myself in sales. Zoom fatigue is a real thing. So actually being back in person allows you to exert less energy when communicating with someone else. Let's recap this, guys. What are the pros again? It's going to save you time. It's going to save you money. It's definitely convenient. We know that you can't spread COVID-19 through a laptop, right? So for health purposes, it's definitely a pro. And the last one here is reach, man. It gives you the ability to scale and build an international to national business all through the fingertips of a laptop, an iPhone, or an iPad. Cons are also there too. You got nonverbal cues. You need verbal cues in business, especially when communicating. You can't capture the office dynamics. You gotta have that in business, guys. You gotta have a place for people to go to talk, to build relationships. It's gotta be there. Hard to have tough conversations. You just can't fire someone over the phone or through Zoom. It just doesn't make sense. It's hard to really convey empathy. Requires more time to build trust. If you're in sales, if you're building an organization, you want to build trust with people. You don't build trust through technology. It's kneecap to kneecap. It's breaking bread. It's grabbing a beer, grabbing a drink, and hanging out with somebody. And the last one, guys, is Zoom fatigue. One of the worst I felt here. Zoom fatigue, man. It's a real thing. And so watch yourself when you're out there using Zoom, going back to back to back. You can really hurt yourself long term by just using that. Get back to the office, get back to an environment where you can build relationships, talk to people. In these last 18 months of COVID-19, we've separated ourselves, we've been divided through all these things like mandates. And I will say this here, man, one thing that's worked well for me in my business is getting back into the environment of working directly with people. If you enjoyed today's video, guys, do not forget to subscribe, like, and share this content. Thank you.